Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. From gaining the dreaded freshman 15 to struggling to lose baby weight, unfortunately, the number on a scale can often affect how a woman feels about herself. Our next guest is hoping to change that with her new book, Deprogram Diet Culture, Rethink Your Relationship with Food, Heal Your Mind, and Live a Diet-Free Life. We welcome Dr. Supatra Tovar. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
This book, I think, can help people in all walks of life, but it's kind of timely to think about kids back in the classroom, what school lunch looks like, and then college students on their own on campus for the first time, navigating their own food choices.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I think that fall especially is a very difficult time for teenagers, young adults, but families of all age ranges. And that's because we have so much pressure on us to look a certain way, to appear thin for our friends, our family. And so I think this approach that I have developed is so important.
Yeah, so tell me about the idea of nutritional psychology. How can we best marry what's going on in our brains with making those healthy choices on our food plates?
Well, the basis of nutritional psychology is how nutrition affects our body and how it affects our mental health. And what we can see when we are looking at diet culture is that we're facing a very toxic mentality around diet culture. And it's based off of two biases. One is lookism and one is weightism. And lookism is just basically the pursuit of the thin ideal, and weightism is basically fat shaming or, deriding people who appear overweight or obese. And those two biases really derive some negative behaviors in us that cause us to think certain ways about ourselves. And if you look at advertising in particular, advertising is very, very insidious because it's designed to make you feel like you're less than. It's designed to make you feel like you don't have enough or you're not enough. So when we are inundated in this culture, we tend to have a very negative view about ourselves and our bodies, no matter what the size. And that's because we never feel like we're good enough. So what I do is help people to, basically reject this kind of mentality and start to learn how to listen to themselves and change the way that they're thinking about themselves and about their food. And that's by using techniques such as cognitive behavioral therapy, which examines how our thoughts affect our feelings, affect our behaviors. And plenty of research has shown that when we change these thoughts around ourselves and our food, our feelings change and our behaviors change, and that leads to better health outcomes.
Well, we hear a lot about the idea of self-care too, and taking care of you first and making sure that your brain and your body are in the healthiest place possible. That can set you up for so much success in all aspects of your life.
Oh, absolutely. And what I've seen with my clients are radical shifts in their lives and in how they feel about their bodies and even how their bodies look. And so when we do this, it's not just about, okay, I'm going to, switch my thinking. I'm just going to automatically think a new thought. We have come into our adult lives or teenage lives thinking the same thought for a very, very long time. But when you actually take the time for this self-care, and I do like to tout it as self-care, when we are reformulating our thoughts, we are doing it in a very healthy way. And I suggest that my clients form new mantras. And a mantra is just basically a short sentence or phrase that is repeated over and over and over to achieve a calming state. So when people are actually working on their relationship with food, they're also working on their nervous system. They are working on how to get into a relaxed state to change these thoughts. And it's shown to be highly effective in changing very ingrained thought patterns for good. Mindful eating is also something that I teach my clients and I teach in the book. And that is also a very calming, centering activity that, if you look at it in the terms of self-care, can really increase your mental well-being and your physical health.
When it feels like if you have those tools already in your toolbox, and when you come into seasons of life where, hey, sometimes the scale goes up a little bit, our bodies are changing, you're better equipped to support yourself and kind of accept those things and get on a better path moving forward.
Yes, especially if you are changing a lot of these focuses that you have on the external. A lot of people just simply focus on their weight and their shape, and that is all they're focusing on. And I like to open up their view to just more than that. What is your body doing for you? Are you able to pick up your kid? That's a pretty amazing thing to have the strength to do that. Are you functioning well at work and at home? How are you doing in your relationships? When you look at yourself with this holistic view, as opposed to only focusing on weight and shape, you can then ride through those changes a lot easier. When you do happen to gain a pound or lose a pound, you're not going to be so hard on yourself because you're appreciating yourself for everything that your body can do.
Yeah, we got to give ourselves some grace. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really
Of
appreciate it.
course, the book again is Deprogram Diet Culture, and we'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.